Let's continue with the second phase of our painting, and it's start to paint the leather pieces. We're going to take the texture base, the basic leather color, and we will apply it to the piece. In this case, you have to be careful and have the RGB option at 100% so we can use fill object. Once we do this, we're gonna take the light color and the dark color of our leather. The idea is to paint all the groups with a dark tone. The only thing I don't like is that we have a very smoothed color, a very smoothed brush. So let's use color spray and an alpha, for example, like this one. Okay, we have to take away the color option. Let's leave it at 0. And now we don't have that color mixture. Now simply using this combination of spray color and the alpha, we will start painting all these groups, all these cavities. As we can see in this moment, we don't have a very smoothed brush, and that helps that the leather looks much better. Let's modify regularly the brush size so we can work much better in very thin grooves. Using the poly group, we're going to mask some areas. We will mask all that is not the belt, because we need to paint this occlusion, where we need to paint where these pieces we have over the belt and the belt are connected. Let's continue to paint the markings. Finally, let's paint this group that is in the belt. Let's go to the next phase, and is to use a mask option, a drag right, and an alpha. This in the mask option, okay? The idea in this case is that we are going to start staying much more our belt. What we do at first was occlusions and some shadows in the cavities, but now with an alpha of scratches or wear, let's start to mask some areas of our belt. The idea is to get stained not too much, but enough. Remember that these alphas will be available so you can use them in the project, but if you want to search some alphas by your own, there's no problem with that. Let's hide a moment the mask, and now let's paint over the parts that are not masked. And little by little we can see as these scratches start appearing. Let's repeat the same process, but in this case with a different alpha. So all the markings are not exactly the same. Well, we invert it and we hide it. And again, we simply start painting some parts of our rear. Let's go with the last alpha and we repeat the same process, but in this case, we will use a bigger mask. Let's make it bigger than the ones we have been working with. The idea is to make this belt to look more dirty. We invert it, hide it, and again start to paint. Well, you need to look that it doesn't get too much saturated of stains. You have to be aware of that. Finishing, we're going to paint with a light color from our color palette the upper edges of our belt. This includes to paint the upper part of each of the groups. This is a little long work as how much strokes you have to make, but you have seen that with simple steps we can start giving more and more details to our leather piece. Well, finishing, we get the result. We see the result of apply different steps to get the leather texture. And now, with what you have seen in this video, I want you to use the same techniques to paint the other belts of our character. That includes the other at the chest, and these ones at the arm. I leave you with that task and see you in the next video.